Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. So this video is a quick introduction to what I'm planning to do with this channel, at least in the coming weeks or months, until I figure out if I want to branch out a bit or if I just want to stick with Planet Coaster. So basically I will start my channel with just posting Planet Coaster stuff. It's the game I'm basically only playing at the moment. I have some other interests, but at the moment it's all about Planet Coaster. So I have been testing the last week my recording software to see if I could actually get a YouTube channel running, and I'm pretty happy with the last few test videos I uploaded. The last video was a time-lapse, so that's basically what I'm planning to upload in the future. So I'm a very passionate builder in Planet Coaster, and I intend to share a lot of blueprints. And this channel is perfect to show you guys how I'm building in a speed up manner, because I'm not a streamer. I probably won't ever go, start streaming. But a time-lapse video of a construction project, that's something I'm definitely going for. Now for this video, because I have already some blueprints in the workshop. For this video I was thinking of just showing you guys what I've built so far, and then in the next few weeks when I build a new project I will record that and I can make a time-lapse video out of those buildings. So we're just going to jump in a sandbox where I can show off a few of my blueprints, which are all available in the workshop right now, and I will post links to all the items in the description of this video. So let me see my blueprints. So there's a few blueprints here, but I'm only going to show you the ones I'm really happy with. The bridge, for instance, this was just my first test of the blueprint system. The Hobbiton watermill is basically my first item, which I put a lot of work in and which I'm very happy with how it turned out. So as you can see, it's obviously meant to be lowered into the ground, something like this, and then you have to basically, well, I'm just going to guess, but the backside also has a floating door if you put it too high, so we'll check that right away. There we go. So that's the watermill, and this is what I was afraid of, but we can quickly fix that by there you go. So the building is tiered in levels, so for the watermill part you would have to sink it down into the ground, and then you can add some water as well, which really finishes it off. So there we go, something like this. Quite happy with that. So then you just fill it with some water, and the water level is also a bit tricky, but I think this one is just about right. It's a bit too high. There we go. This is the water level I was aiming for. So just make sure that this part of the building is not submerged, because it really ruins the water wheel if it is. But if you sink it like this, and then you can make this water go all the way around, that's not a problem. But this is the best effect for the building. So you can see the building sinks into the water, which is basically inspired by the building that's actually built in New Zealand in the Hobbiton movie set, and I think I got the resemblance quite alright. I'll add a reference picture to the video if I can figure out how, just so you can see it side by side. So basically it's a functioning water mill. Obviously it's a theme park prop, so the water supply doesn't make a lot of sense. It just comes out of the building. Maybe in the future, if we get dynamic water, I will look into this again. But at the moment, I'm just happy with the way it is. So a few parts about this build, which I'm very happy with. Basically, the roof. So I'm not a big fan of the regular thatch roof um, because it looks so clean. But you have a prop in your scenery items, which comes with a more diverse roof, which I used for this one. So I'll just pull it out, and that's just a barn. So I filled this building up with barns, and it makes for a nice roof effect. For the parts where it doesn't really match up, I used hay bales to fill it up and make it look nice. So that's the main gimmick of this build, which makes it stand out a bit from every other building in the workshop. Another part is the chimney, which is just another scenery piece stacked on top of each other. So we'll have a quick look. So it's basically just I forgot which prop it was. Let me quickly look. Um, Well, it's the cider press, the cornered cider press. So that makes for a pretty nice chimney. I'm quite happy with that. Besides that, I always fill up my builds with a little bit of nature to make it a bit more dynamic. This one does not have any lighting features, so well, no, we're not going to speed up time because basically that's my first build, watermill. Very happy with that. Second build I made does have some lights attached, so we might as well place that right now, and then you can see how it looks at night. There we go. Obviously we had a water mill, now this is a windmill. I added some lamps, so it's just going to speed it up, and then we'll wait for daytime to look at the rest. But a few lights just to make it interesting when night falls in your park. The lighting effects in this game is just amazing, so lovely. Right, so daytime is almost upon us, and then we can have a quick look at this windmill. So basically it's not super fancy, but there are a few points into this build which worked out fine and which make the windmill stand out a bit from the others. I did use a reference picture for this windmill, but it was basically just for the base. So there we go, and now let's quickly pause. So about this windmill, the part I'm most happy with is basically the base of the building. So as you can see, it's a round building structure, and it looks like I used the stone wall which you can use, but if you have tried it, you will know that you can't really tilt those walls. So I used another piece which had a backside mimicking the stone pattern, and I used that on top of each other to basically make this entire foundation of the windmill. So it's this piece right here. I'll quickly put that back. Besides that, well, the building itself is also round, but obviously you can do that with the basic wall sections. And then I just put a whole lot of nature on top of it to really finish it off. One thing I had some comments about is the smokestack. Yeah, I realize a windmill doesn't really need one, but it's a prop for a theme park, and I wanted to make the roof a bit more interesting, so I put one there. If you download my blueprint, you obviously can just remove it like so, and the smoke effect, and then you have a windmill without a smokestack. So yeah, now it makes all the sense. So that's basically my windmill. Next up, a bit of an optimistic build, I'm afraid. It came out looking pretty decent, but it's not perfect, it's not by a long shot. And I will show you what really the limitations were. So I'll just sink this into the ground. So like this. And I'm quickly going to press play again on the time because it does have a few smoke effects, as you can see. So yeah, this is my train build. I wanted to try my hand at a steam engine, which I'm for the most part very happy with it, but basically for the undercarriage, I just didn't have the pieces to make this look decent, so I covered it up with a lot of plants just to hide that a bit. It's not super bad, especially if you look at it from a distance, but it's not the undercarriage which I wanted to build. The train itself is basically just, well, let me quickly look. So it's 900 pieces, which is quite a lot for such a small item. Most of it was to create the shapes, the round shapes which I needed. In this particular build, there's one item I used over and over again everywhere, so all over the train, and it's basically just a window. So I'm gonna pull one out. So this window allows you to rotate on all axes, and that's what makes it possible to make this round structure. And that's also the reason why I tried to build this train, because I knew I could build this part. I didn't realize I couldn't really build the rest of it. But all in all, it's a pretty cool looking train, I think. Another item which used a lot in this train is the stove, which I'll pull out, which I only realized later also had its own light and smoke effect. Luckily, it looks okay, so I could leave them there. But that's what happens when you build in pause mode. Nothing animates, and if you use items which make sound effects or smoke effects or light effects, you will only notice when you basically press play. So if you are building something and you're not sure about the items you're using, just press play every once in a while, and you don't get any nasty surprises. So because this train has a lot of light effects, I'll quickly speed up the time just so we can also have a quick look at it in the nighttime. While we wait, the railroad track, we can have a quick look at that. So again, this is also just the window which I used in the train, sunk into the ground, which is the item which is the closest to a rail you can find. As you can see, the track is not perfect at this point. I was a bit in a hurry to finish the build, so yeah, this could be a lot better. But maybe when we get more items, um, I will revisit this build, and especially the undercarriage, and maybe we can line it up to the track a bit more, a bit better as well. So again, the lighting in this game is amazing. So I'm just going to slow it down. You can see that nighttime is almost there, and the train is lighting up. So the stoves which I used start emitting a very reddish light, which looks amazing on the cylinder shape which is above it. So I could leave them in there when once I noticed they actually made smoke and light effects. The rest of the train, well, you have the light in front and then a few lights on the cabin. Oh, and that's basically it. But if you look at it from a distance, it's actually quite nice. I'm very happy the way it turned out, even though it's nowhere near perfect. So that's the train. And then I have one more build to show you, which I just uploaded to the workshop, which is again a Lord of the Rings inspired build, which I'll have plenty more of, by the way. And it's basically a building. Quickly let it load, and then also has to be sunk into the ground a bit. There we go. So for this build I have no lights, so I'm quickly waiting until morning comes. But basically this is the Inn of the Prancing Pony. I used my inspiration was the Weta Workshop builds model of this building. If you look it up, you'll notice there's definitely differences, but the basic shape of the building is a direct copy of that. There we go. So all in all, I'm pretty happy the way it turned out. While I was building, I was very unhappy with it, but just at the end, when I was approaching 1,000 pieces, things just fell into place, and I was very happy with it. So I already said about 1,000 pieces, so it will be a bit less, 950 pieces. Basically a standard looking building, but there is a few standout points, and that's basically the windows. So I took a lot of time having the windows be something different than just your basic windows. So they are all very wood lined castle windows, which with the wood I added to it, they fit quite nicely into the build. So a bit of variety there. And then another part of this build is a custom built willow tree, which is nice because the game has amazing trees in it, but the variety isn't huge. So I was just in the mood for something different. So I built this one, which incidentally I also made available as blueprints separately. So if you just want to use the tree, it's also in the workshop right there. There you go. Besides the tree, I had a lot of work matching the roof up because it's not one building. You can see the symmetry is way off, so it's building and building and building. Every floor is on a different axis, so it doesn't line up. So I had to use a lot of wood trimmings to make it look convincing, and then I just added a little bit of a. Well, I imagine this is something they built afterwards, and they just put something on the roof, not the original tile, just to add some extra space in the building. So yeah, pretty straightforward builds. I mean, I inspired it by the End of the Prancing Pony, but obviously it's very generic looking, so you can use it in a lot of your parks, I think. So that's basically the four major blueprints I have up in my workshop right now, and I hope to build a lot more, and in the future I can show you just a time lapse of the construction, because this was not the ideal method to show you the blueprints. But yeah, again, I will post all the links down in the description, so feel free to use these blueprints in your parks, and if you like them, you can always rate them on the workshop, or you can leave me a comment or even a screenshot where you used them. I love seeing my stuff pop up in other people's parks, so yeah, feel free to let me know if any of these blueprints were of use to you, and I will see you all very soon. Bye bye.